Hey folks, welcome back to True Crime Stories, where we cover the most thrilling true crime stories. Before we get going, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for me. Thanks. And now let's get into today's story.
All right, get ready because today we are going deep, deep into a case as sharp and twisted as, well, a shard of broken glass.
Ooh, I like that. Setting the scene already.
Gotta hook 'em really right.
Yeah.
So picture this, okay. Silver Lake, Washington.
Beautiful. I've heard great things about it. Nestled in the Cascades, known for its art scene.
Yeah, and its natural beauty, really picturesque. But, you know, like a lot of charming towns, there's this undercurrent of mystery, and in Silver Lake, that mystery is the disappearance of Lisa Delaney. Vanished a whole decade ago.
A decade. Wow, that's a long time for a town to carry that kind of weight. What makes this case even more interesting, though, is how it's tied to the town's yearly glass festival.
Oh yeah, big celebration of art and community, the heart of Silver Lake. It's ironic, really, because it's during this joyous festival that everything goes sideways.
I'm sensing some foreshadowing here. Okay, so we've got a missing person and a town festival. What's the connection?
Well, Lisa had a sister, Anna, super talented glassblower in her own right. She was set to unveil a special piece at the festival, a tribute to Lisa.
Ah, that's lovely. A tribute to her missing sister.
Yeah, really moving. But the unveiling takes a dark turn. I mean, dark. This tribute ends up plunging the whole town, the whole festival, into this chilling mystery.
Okay, now you've got me hooked. I need details.
Patience,
Yeah.
patience. First, let's meet the other players in this twisted story, shall we?
Sounds good to me. Lay it on me.
We've got Liam O'Connor, the deputy sheriff. His father was actually the original investigator on Lisa's case, so you can imagine the pressure he's under.
Oof. Yeah, following in your father's footsteps on a cold case, that's a lot to carry. Who else?
We've also got Clara Hughes. She's an ambitious journalist who gets swept up in the drama, naturally. And then there's Ray Albright, the handyman. Seems harmless enough, but let me tell you, he's got secrets. Everyone in this town does.
Classic small town mystery vibe. Everyone knows everyone. Secrets simmering beneath the surface. Love it. Okay, I'm ready. Take me back to the festival. Set the scene.
All right, picture it. The Glass Festival is in full swing. Anna's sculpture, she called it Reflections of Past, is finally revealed.
Beautiful title. Very evocative.
It really was. And the sculpture itself was amazing. Intricate, delicate, captured Lisa's spirit perfectly. People were moved. There were tears, you know. And then someone spots something odd inside the glasswork.
Oh. Like what? A flaw in the glass?
Worse, much worse. A tiny bone, practically invisible, hidden within the glass.
Whoa, hold on. A bone, are we talking?
Yep, human bone. And guess whose?
Lisa's.
Bingo. The festival screeches to a halt. The mood, the happy celebratory vibe, just vanishes. Panic, whispers, accusations, it all explodes at once.
Chaos. From art exhibit to crime scene in a heartbeat. Wow, okay, so let's talk suspects. Who falls under suspicion first?
Well, right off the bat, there's Anna. I mean, her sister's bone is found in her sculpture.
Yeah, but it's her sister. Why would she... Wait, I see where you're going with this.
Exactly. It's her tribute. She created it, so how could she not have noticed a bone?
That is a good question, unless she was being framed, of course.
Oh, absolutely a possibility. Then there's Ray, the handyman. He was helping Anna at her studio, remember, so he had access to the sculpture.
Handyman with secrets, you said. Plus, he was at the scene of the, well, art creation. Interesting.
Very interesting. And remember those rumors I mentioned about his past? Well, it turns out he knew Lisa, more than he initially let on.
Juicy. Okay, I'm sensing a love triangle, a hidden affair, something like that. Am I getting warm?
Maybe, maybe not. We'll get to that later. For now, let's add another suspect to the mix. Clara Hughes, the journalist.
Ah, the ambitious one. Was she maybe a little too eager for a story?
Possibly. Some folks thought she might have tampered with the sculpture herself, you know, to create a more sensational story.
Oh, I've heard of journalists doing worse for a front-page byline.
Right. And you can't rule out the possibility that her reporting might influence the investigation, even unintentionally. In a small town like Silver Lake, rumors spread like wildfire.
Word travels fast. Okay, so we've got Anna, the grieving sister, Ray, the handyman with a past, and Clara, the ambitious journalist. Anyone else?
Oh, we're just getting started. Don't forget about Ella Preston. She was Anna's childhood friend, always there to lend a hand.
Sounds innocent enough. What's the catch?
Well, beneath that friendly facade, there were whispers of jealousy. Ella always felt overshadowed by Anna's success, especially with their art.
Ah, the green-eyed monster rears its ugly head. Classic motive. Did she have an alibi?
Claimed she was at her grandma's birthday party during the festival. But the investigators weren't taking anything at face value. They were digging deeper.
Smart move. Can't trust anyone in a case like this. So, 4 suspects now. Who else could have been involved?
Last, but certainly not least, we have Tommy Rivers, Lisa's ex-boyfriend. Their relationship, a complete dumpster fire. Jealousy, possessiveness, the whole 9
He
yards.
sounds messy, and I bet his alibi is as airtight as a sieve.
You know it. He claimed to be out of town when Lisa disappeared. But surprise, surprise, there were holes in his story. Turns out he didn't leave when he initially claimed.
Shocker. Okay, so we've got 5 potential suspects, each with their own secrets and reasons to be tangled up in Lisa's disappearance.
It's a puzzle, all right. The pieces are scattered everywhere. Luckily, we have forensic evidence to help us sort through this mess. And trust me, the findings are about to make this case even more twisted.
Buckle up, Buttercup. This is where it gets good. Bring on the forensics.
All right, so we've got our suspects, each with their own, baggage, potential motives. But let's dig into the evidence. What did the forensics team find? Anything that could connect these folks to that bone in the sculpture?
Oh, there's definitely some interesting stuff. Remember how Ray was helping Anna at her studio? Well, they dusted for prints on those glass shards, and guess what?
They found his prints, didn't they?
You bet they did. Ray's prints all over the glass. Now, he did admit to being in the studio, helping Anna move some things around.
Right, right. But it's still suspicious, isn't it? Especially with his connection to Lisa.
Exactly. And things get even more interesting when you remember Lisa confided in him. She was worried about someone close to her, someone involved in some, let's just say, risky business.
Dangerous circles, she called it. Who was she talking about?
Well, those fears, they were all about Tommy. That volatile temper, the possessiveness. It wasn't just talk. The investigation found out he'd fallen in with a bad crowd, petty theft, drugs, that sort of thing.
And Lisa, being Lisa, tried to pull him out of it. But it sounds like her efforts just made things worse.
Sadly, yeah. It pushed him further away, fueled his anger. But let's circle back to Ray for a minute. Quiet, observant Ray, he was protective of Anna, really took Lisa's disappearance hard.
Those protective feelings.
Yeah.
They turned into something more, didn't they?
It seems so. He fell for Anna, hard. And hearing what Lisa said about Tommy, well, it painted a pretty grim picture in his mind. He started to see Tommy as a threat to both women.
So Ray took matters into his own hands. Is that why his prints were on that sculpture?
It's possible. Maybe he confronted Tommy and then checked on Anna, leaving those prints behind. But those prints alone couldn't prove he was involved in Lisa's death. The big question still remained. How did she die? And who was responsible?
Okay, so we've got Ray maybe trying to protect Anna, but no clear answers about what happened to Lisa. Let's go back to Tommy. The ex with the shaky alibi and the history of, losing his cool. What about those inconsistencies in his story? Anything come of those?
Remember that weird voicemail Tommy left for Lisa? The one asking her to meet him at that abandoned barn? Turns out someone else knew about that conversation.
Hold on. Someone was listening in on them. Who? Was it Ella?
Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner. Ella was in the know.
But why? Why would she spy on them? Was this still about that rivalry with Anna?
It appears those old feelings never really went away. They festered, turned into this obsession with Anna's life, her talent.
So she hears this voicemail and decides to step in. Maybe she thought Tommy was dangerous, wanted to protect Anna.
That's what it looks like. She saw that voicemail as proof that Tommy was a threat to Anna, because Anna was close with Lisa. A classic case of good intentions gone wrong.
But how did that lead to Lisa's death? Did Ella confront Tommy? What happened?
We think Ella went to that barn to confront Tommy, maybe playing the hero. But she probably underestimated him, how volatile he could be. And Lisa, well, it looks like she got to the barn not long after Ella. Maybe she got a message, a call, something.
Oh no, she walked right into the middle of it all. So what happened then?
We know there was a struggle. Forensics confirmed that. Things got physical. And in all that chaos, there was an accident. We believe Lisa, always trying to help, tried to intervene and got caught in the crossfire.
That's just awful. So it was an accident, not intentional.
That's where the evidence points. A terrible, tragic accident fueled by jealousy, misplaced heroism, and a very volatile personality.
What happened to Tommy and Ella? Were they arrested? Surely there were some consequences.
Here's the catch. Even though everything suggests an accident, there wasn't enough concrete proof to directly link anyone to Lisa's death. The whole case was messy. Inconsistencies, conflicting stories, no eyewitnesses to the, actual incident.
So no charges were filed. Lisa's death is officially unsolved.
Exactly. Despite all the tangled relationships, all the secrets uncovered, no one was held accountable for her death.
It's almost like everyone involved got away with something.
It's a tough pill to swallow, especially for those who loved Lisa. They wanted closure, answers. But sometimes justice isn't about punishment. It's about trying to understand why things happened, the choices people made, and how those choices can change lives forever.
So what happened to Silver Lake after all this? And Anna, Ray, and Ella, how do you even begin to move on from something like that?
That's a question we'll explore in the final part of our deep dives. We'll delve into the aftermath, the impact this unsolved case had on the town and its residents, and how they grappled with the lingering doubts, the unanswered questions.
So we've gone through all these twisted relationships, hidden motives, the whole investigation. But Lisa's death is still, officially, unsolved. What happened to Silver Lake after everything calmed down? Can a town really move on when a crime like that just goes unanswered? Especially when everyone knew the people involved.
That's the thing, it really haunted Silver Lake.
Yeah.
For years. I mean, the town was split. Some people were convinced someone knew the truth, that it was being covered up.
Makes sense. Someone they knew, someone they trusted.
Right. And then others, they kind of just accepted that Lisa's death, as horrible as it was an accident, just a really bad set of circumstances.
Two very different ways of coping, for sure. But what about the people at the center of it all? Anna, Ray, Ella. How do they deal with the aftermath? Did they find any peace? Or were they stuck with, the weight of what happened at the barn?
Well, for Anna, she turned to her art. It became her way of dealing with the grief, the confusion, even the anger. Her studio, it wasn't just about glassblowing anymore. It became a space for her to process all those emotions, and for others in the community, too.
So she turned that pain, that loss, into something positive, something that could help other people.
Exactly. She started holding workshops, teaching people how to use art, glassblowing specifically, as a form of therapy. A way to express things that are hard to put into words. It became a safe space for people who were struggling to deal with the tragedy. A place to connect, to grieve together.
That's pretty amazing. Turning such a horrible situation into something that could help others heal.
Yeah.
What about Ray? He was carrying a lot of guilt. Knowing his actions, even if he had good intentions, might have contributed to Lisa's death.
Ray's story is, well, it's sadder. He withdrew, totally shut himself off from the community, blamed himself, couldn't deal with his feelings for Anna, knowing what happened.
So he isolated himself. Never really confessed or, tried to make things right.
It seems that way. He basically became a prisoner of his own guilt, haunted by the what-ifs, knowing that trying to protect Anna led to such a terrible outcome.
And Ella, driven by jealousy, trying to be a hero, but ending up, responsible for Lisa's death, in a way. How did she cope?
Ella's story is one of running away. She couldn't handle the whispers, the judgment, so she left Silver Lake, tried to start over somewhere new.
Do you think she ever found peace? Or was she always haunted by that night?
That's something we'll never know. But her leaving says a lot, about how trauma can change you, make you want to erase the past and start fresh.
So they all dealt with it in their own way, looking for comfort, forgiveness, or just a way to survive. But the thing is, the echoes of Lisa's death, the questions, the doubts, those never really went away, did they?
And that's the thing about this case. It reminds you that sometimes there are no easy answers. Closure, as much as people want it, isn't always possible. The need to understand, to make sense of tragedy, it can stay with you. It can shape how you see the world, how you make decisions.
It's a hard truth, isn't it? Even in a place like Silver Lake, beautiful and charming, there's still darkness. And the search for justice, for the truth, it can be a long road with no real end in sight.
It really highlights the power of art, of community, of how resilient people can be when facing loss. Even when you don't get the answers you want, you can find some comfort in connecting with others and expressing yourself, in trying to understand just how complicated we all are.
In this case, it's definitely given us a lot to think about. Grief, guilt, trust, secrets, and I guess more than anything, it reminds us that we're all shaped by the stories we tell ourselves, the stories we create to make sense of the world.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So that's Lisa Delaney's story. Unsolved, but definitely not forgotten. The questions it raises about us, about the choices we make, and the power of truth, those will stay with us.
For sure. Well, that's our deep dive for today. Until next time, keep searching for those answers. Keep digging.